where it's happening, right?
Look at this sauce.
Travel vlogging?
Something like that.
I'm worried about that ran out. God, it's the first, like, this is the sunniest it's been, really.
It's been too long since I've spent time on my favorite continent, my favorite place in the world. Apart from a few work trips over the years, it was 2017 that I was last in Europe. We started in Amsterdam, a city I've never been to before. Kyle, Ali, Kaylee, and I had a houseboat for 5 days. We were outside of the city center and took the tram or walk depending on the weather, which, apart from a few moments where the sun peeked through, it was quite gray and rainy. So I really didn't film a ton here. Instead, we spent the time wandering around, enjoying the city, and considering what life would be like here on the canals. I've always viewed Europe as my home, and so vacationing here was never really a top priority. It's the lifestyle in Europe that I love.
I want to try and blur the background.
I think the longer you spend, the better the experience will be. I suppose this really goes for anywhere. But being able to see a new place with good friends was special. Kyle and Ali really fell in love with Amsterdam, and to see that same excitement that I have in certain places in other people was really nice.
So much louder.
After we watched the year come to an end in Amsterdam, we got on the train and went to one of my favorite cities in the world. When we arrived, I sat by the window, just listening to the sounds outside, settling in to a familiar feeling. I've been to Paris many times, and there's just something about it that feels right. While I'm not sure I would move here long term in preference to other European cities that have my eye, I keep coming back to Paris. Maybe it's all the stories I heard growing up or visiting so many times, but Paris is always special. I think it's become a cool thing to say that Paris is overrated, it's dangerous, it's dirty. I hadn't been here in 5 years, maybe it had changed, but all this did is serve as a great reminder to never let anyone else live for you, because the magic of Paris was certainly still alive. I love how much people here care about tradition and food and wine. We stepped into this one cheese shop to get a few things, and the man who was helping us nearly had a heart attack when he saw the wine we chose. It would ruin the entire experience, he said. And I love that you can't get away with doing things the wrong way like that. We don't have that identity in America, those really strong traditions and ways of eating. We spent the rest of the days walking around the streets, exploring, observing life and the light. It was immediately apparent that Kaylee shared my love for the city. I could see in her eyes that sparkle I know all too well. The daydreaming about an apartment on the top floor of one of these historic buildings, shopping at the markets for food every week, walking through the city. The next day, Kaylee and I flew to Lisbon as Kyle and Allie left for home, and we rediscovered something that we were desperately missing over the past week: sunlight. While it was a nice change of pace to have some rain and gray skies, having the sun back was an incredible feeling. I've realized over the past few years how much I just love the sun, how much it affects my enjoyment of essentially everything. This, combined with being close to the sea, really sealed the deal in my first impressions of Lisbon. And while I did enjoy the more modern feel of Amsterdam, there's just something special about these older style buildings that I'm fascinated by. Even though a lot of them here are rebuilt due to an earthquake that destroyed a lot of the city, they have that feeling. And I think it's because they're so different from the buildings that we have in the States, the tall skyscrapers and metal and glass. Here I feel like I'm in a completely different world. The people who live by the sea and in the sun are just doing it right. When we left Paris, we came down with a little sickness, and so the first day and a half we took pretty slow, mainly resting. And so when we were feeling better, not only were we stepping out into the sun, but also with this newfound energy after feeling sick. You know, when you're not feeling well, the only thing you can think about is feeling normal and feeling healthy, and it really puts everything into perspective. And so those first few hours of roaming the streets with the sun beaming down and the ocean air is something I'll never forget. I also had the opportunity to meet someone whose work I've looked up to for a long time. Actually, Mateo's channel is the main reason I use the camera and lenses that I do. It's amazing what can happen through the internet and how a complete stranger can impact your life and your work. We spent the previous night eating pasta, drinking wine, and talking into the late hours. In the evening, we walked to this lookout to watch the sunset. Thankful to start the year off in this way, doing the thing that I love the most.